Hello students. So now we are again with our online lectures. I'll be teaching King Lear by William Shakespeare. As we had started our text in our classes, I'll continue with from where we left. That is Act 1, Scene 1, and we'll start from Cordelia's speech, which she answers to her father's questions if she wants to revise her statement or if she wants to mend what she had said about her love for her father. So we'll start. Cordelia, good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as are right fit. So Cordelia says that, my lord, you have brought me up, you have loved me, and I am giving you back just what I should, and I obey you, love you, and to the level or accordingly that a daughter should love in return to that for her father. Obey you, love you, and most honor you. She says that I will obey you, will keep on loving you, and honor you as a daughter should. Why have my sisters husbands if they say they love you all? Haply when I shall wed, that lord whose hand must take my plight shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure, I shall never marry like my sisters to love my father all. So she explains how her sisters have shown their love to their father and how she wants to express it. She says that, how can my sisters speak the truth when they say that they love only you? Because don't they love their husbands? Hopefully, she says that when I get married, I'll give my husband half of my love and half my sense of duty, and I am sure I'll never get married in the way my sisters say they are married, loving their father only. But goes thy heart with this? So Lear again confirms that, what do you mean by this? She says, good my lord, yes my lord, so young and so untender. He asks that you are so young and yet so cruel in saying such words to your father. So young my lord and true. She says, I am young but I am true to you, I am honest to you. Lear. So this speech of Lear is important. Let it be so. He says, then that's the way it will be. Whatever you have said, you will have to pay for that. Thy truth then be thy dower. He says, the truth will be all the inheritance you will get from me. For by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the operation of the orbs, from whom we do exist and cease to be. He says that I swear by the sacred sun, the sacred radiance of the sun, by the Hecate is the moon, by the mysterious moon. Mysteries of Hecate means the mysterious moon, and by all the planets that rule our lives, that I disown you now as my daughter. Orbs means the planets that are ruling our lives or that are moving around the earth. Here I disclaim all my paternal care, propinquity and property of blood. And as a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee from this forever. He says that now I swear that I am disowning you as my daughter, and as of now there are no family ties between us. We will not keep any relationship with you, and I consider you as a stranger to me. The barbarous Scythians, or he that makes his generation messes to gauge his appetite, shall to my bosom be as well neighboured, pitied, and relieved as thou my sometime daughter. He says that foreign savages or foreigners who are savage, who eat their own children to satiate themselves, to satiate their appetite, will be as close to my heart as you. Means that I can even love those savages rather than loving you. And he says, you are now an ex daughter to me, and people who are savages, they can be favored with my love, but you cannot be getting any love from your father. Kent says, good my liege. He says, but sir, he tries to interrupt Lear. Peace, Kent. He says, don't interrupt, be quiet, or otherwise you will also have to face whatever I have said in that. Come not between the dragon and his wrath. He says, quiet, be quiet, Kent. Don't get into my way when I am angry. Dragon and his wrath means I am like a dragon, my anger is like a dragon, so don't come between my angry self. I loved her most and thought to set my rest on her kind nursery. He says that I have loved Cordelia most of all, and I was planning to spend my old age with her, taking care of me in her nursery, means in her care. And then he talks to Cordelia, hence and avoid my sight. He says, get away from my sight, or get out of my sight. So be my grave, my peace, as here I give her father's heart from her. Call France, who stirs? Call Burgundy. He says, I guess if she doesn't love her father, then I'll only have peace when I am dead. So call the King of France. He says, why is nobody calling and doing nothing? Call the Duke of Burgundy. And on his word, several attendants go to call them. Cornwall and Albany. With my 2 daughters, Dover's digest this third. He says, now he is addressing Cornwall and Albany and says that you and your wives can divide this last third of my kingdom between you. He says, because I have nothing to do with my third daughter, that is Cordelia, so you and my daughters can now divide the rest of my kingdom between yourselves. Let pride, which she calls plainless, marry her. He says, if she wants to be proud or honest, what she calls so, she can just marry her own pride. She will not get anything from me. Preeminence and all the large effects that troop with majesty are self by monthly course. He says, hereby I grant you to my crown and all the privileges that I enjoy with the kingship, I'll ourself by monthly course. He says that I'll live with one of you on monthly basis, or I'll live 1 month with one of you and the next month with the other one, means by monthly basis, with reservation of 100 nights. He says that I'll keep 100 nights for my entourage or for my services. By you to be sustained shall our abode make with you by due turns, only shall we retain the name and all the additions to a king. He says that I'll keep only the title of the king, but you will have everything else, all the authority, income that comes with the kingship. To confirm all this, he says, take this crown of mine. Beloved sons, be yours, which to confirm this coronet part between you. Coronet is the crown. He says, he calls them the beloved sons, who are his son-in-laws. He says, I want to confirm this, whatever I am saying, and to confirm this, I am giving you this crown which you can share between yourselves. And he gives the crown to Cornwall and Albany. Kent, royal Lear, whom I have ever honoured as my king, loved as my father, as my master followed, as my great patron thought on in my prayers. Kent says, Lear, I have always honoured you as a king, as my father, obeyed you as my master, and thanked you in my prayers. Lear, the bow is bent and drawn, make from the shaft. Bow means that I am so furious and I am ready to snap like a bow from. So stay away from me or stay away from my way, or I'll take my anger out on you. Kent. Let it fall rather, though the fork invade the region of my heart. He says, let your anger fall on me. Even it is sharp like arrows, whether it can pierce my heart. Be Kent unmannerly when Lear is mad. He says, whatever be the consequences, whatever you do to me because of your anger, but Kent will never stop speaking the truth. He says, Kent can speak rudely when Lear goes mad. He says, I have this privilege, or I have the right to interrupt when you are going mad. What wouldst thou do, old man? He says, what are you doing, old man? Thinkest thou that duty shall have dread to speak? He says, when powerful, what are you doing, old man? When powerful kings are influenced by flatterers, do you think loyal men will be afraid to speak out against it? He says, because I am loyal to you, so I am not afraid to speak if you are influenced by the flatterers. To plainless honors bound. He says, when a majestic king starts acting silly, then it's my duty to be blunt or to be open about everything, to say everything without any fear. To plainless honors bound when majesties fall to folly. Majesties fall to folly means when majestic kings start acting like silly people, reserve thy state, then it's my duty to be blunt. And in thy best consideration check this hideous rashness. See, he says, hold on to your crown and use your better judgment to rethink the rash actions that you are taking, or the rash decisions that you are taking. Answer my life, my judgment. He says, on my life I swear to you that thy youngest daughter does not love thee least. He says, I can assure you on my life, or I can swear you on my life, that your youngest daughter doesn't love you least. He says, you can be felt assured, or I want to assure you, nor are those empty hearted whose low sound reverbs no hollowness. He says that a loud mouth often points to an empty heart. He says, your other daughters who are so loud mouthed, their heart is empty, they don't have any love for you. And just because she is quiet, it doesn't mean that she is unloving. Now we'll continue with our important passages in our next lecture. Thank you.